I remember the exact moment Christmas night broke me. I was standing in our living room, the soft glow of the tree lights flickering against the walls, holding a glass of wine, when my phone buzzed. I thought it was a simple notification, maybe a message from my brother wishing me a Merry Christmas. But what I saw froze me. A photo sent my wife from an unknown number, showing her laughing, closer than anyone should be, arm in arm with someone else. I didn't react. I just stared. My chest felt hollow, and my hands trembled slightly as I set the glass down. The sound of the trees' soft hum and the faint Christmas carols playing in the background seemed distant, unreal. I want to call her out, scream, demand answers, but part of me held back, paralyzed by disbelief. The signs had been there for weeks, but I convinced myself I was imagining things. Missed calls when she said she was at the grocery store, little messages she quickly deleted from her phone, the way she suddenly got protective of her screen when I walked into the room. I questioned myself constantly. Was I overreacting? Was I being paranoid? She was my wife, my partner of 7 years. Surely I could trust her. Then there were the small things I couldn't ignore anymore. The smell of a perfume that wasn't hers lingering on the scarf I thought I'd forgotten to wash. The hushed conversations when I walked into the room. The way her eyes darted away whenever I asked about her day. I started noticing every detail. Every smile that felt forced. Every laugh that seemed rehearsed. My mind twisted them, looking for explanations, excuses, anything to cling to hope. But deep down I already knew. Christmas night was supposed to be perfect. I'd spent the entire day decorating, making dinner, wrapping presents. She arrived late, claiming traffic, and I didn't press it. I wanted the evening to be about joy, about us. But as she handed me a small, carefully wrapped box, I felt a knot in my stomach. The note inside wasn't from her. It was from him, the man I'd only glimpsed in my worst imaginings. The words were innocuous, even sweet. Thinking of you tonight. But they cut through me like shards of ice. I stayed quiet. I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I watched her move around the room, pretending everything was normal while my mind raced. Memories I'd cherished suddenly stung. The morning coffee she made, the gentle touch of her hand on my shoulder, the laughter we shared over ridiculous holiday movies. Each one now felt like a carefully constructed lie. I realized I had been living in a world that existed only in my imagination. She noticed my silence eventually, eyes narrowing slightly, but she said nothing. Maybe she thought I was tired. Maybe she didn't realize how deep the wound had gone. I kept my emotions tucked away. Like fragile glass I didn't want to shatter. There was a terrible clarity in that silence. I understood, finally, that confrontation wasn't necessary. I had all the evidence I needed. The betrayal wasn't going away. I had to decide how I would respond. I thought about asking why, about demanding the truth, but I couldn't bring myself to speak. My voice would have betrayed the storm inside me, and I wasn't ready to let her see that. Instead, I let the night stretch on, the warmth of the tree lights mocking the chill in my heart. I wandered through our home, touching objects that now felt foreign. The couch we had chosen together, the ornaments we'd hung, the stockings with our initials stitched in red and green. Everything was a reminder of trust broken, love manipulated. When she finally went to bed, I didn't follow. I sat alone, staring out the window at the quiet snowfall, listening to the distant laughter of neighbors celebrating. For the first time in years, I realized that my love, as deep as it had been, couldn't repair what had been broken by deceit. I allowed myself to feel the pain fully, the confusion, the anger, the heartbreak. And in that feeling, I found something else, clarity. I understood that forgiveness didn't have to come immediately, and reconciliation wasn't my obligation. What mattered was that I recognized my worth, that I refused to let this betrayal define the rest of my life. I didn't need to scream, to fight, or to make her feel small. The silent strength I found in that quiet Christmas night was enough. By morning, the snow had covered the footprints outside, and a pale winter sun cast a soft glow over our home. I packed a small bag, leaving a note that wasn't angry but honest. I needed space to heal, to rebuild, to reclaim myself. She would wake to an empty house and the echo of the life we once shared. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew this. I would rise from this stronger, whole, and unshaken by lies. As I closed the door behind me, I whispered to the falling snow, "Merry Christmas, indeed." It was the first time in months I felt the faint stirrings of hope.